All right, so I know a lot of you have been, excuse the noise here, there's a bunch of traffic here, but I know a lot of you have been asking about my van and wondering what the status is. We want to see more Chevy videos, but it's still in progress. I just have a lot of things going on right now, so it kind of sometimes takes a back burner. So I've got the van behind me right now, and we're going to kind of walk through that. I actually have this van over with a legitimate carpenter, right? So first I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to learn how to carpent or how to do carpentry. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to bother with this. I want it to look beautiful inside, like just exquisite, right? So I got a buddy of mine here, Joel, who's working on it right now. I looked at some of his some of the work that he's done, and it's like absolutely just beautiful stuff. So I've got him working on this right now. Now Joel's got his own company that he just runs it out of his home right now, but he does some very, very good work. So I'm going to walk you through this van right now, kind of talk about the ideas and what we're doing, and then kind of give him an opportunity to kind of speak on that as well, and see what he's doing with that and what his mindset is. Like, I've got the ideas in my head, like this is what I want to do, but he's actually taking those crazy ideas and formulating them and taking them and actually making something out of it. So we're going to look at that right now and see what's going on. Joel.
Yes, sir.
We're live on camera.
Oh, awesome.
How you doing, bud? What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. So I've got this queued up. I just wanted you to kind of walk the viewers through some of the stuff that you're doing in here. Well, first introduce yourself so that everybody knows who you
Yeah,
are.
absolutely. My name's Joel. I'm currently with 5280 Plus. We do craftsman style woodworking.
Very good. And what do you have in store here? I know I came to you with a bunch of random ideas of what I wanted to do with this van, and you've started working on it. And what has that helped at all? What is your vision for the van, and what are you doing with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of ideas. Definitely love the ideas. Right now we're trying to build it out kind of rustic, similar to like a modern style farmhouse style cabin. Taking some of those ideas you gave me and incorporating it into making it a livable space out in the road.
Okay, very good. So let's go inside and kind of take a look here. Maybe you can kind of just walk us through some of the initial stuff that you've done,
Mm-hmm.
and let's start with that floor right there and what your thoughts are and what you're doing with that.
Absolutely. So for the floor here, we have done a water-resistant click-style laminate flooring with a cork underlayment on there, so it does breathe. It is a floating floor, so it does kind of move up and down with the weather.
All right, very cool. I like that. All right, and so moving on further, what do we have going on? I see the walls different. A lot of people are doing panels, and what have you done here? Some kind of tongue and groove, or what is this?
Yeah, so this is going to be a natural reclaimed beetle kill pine, which is local here to Colorado.
Okay.
Kind of the idea with this was to give it a little bit of more of a sturdy surface. This gives you mountability all the way through the wall rather than just on the studs. So a little bit more just kind of unique as far as where you can hang things, a little bit more structurally sound on there.
Very good. And do you paint that, or how does that look? What does that look like after it's done? Do you just leave the finished wood, or what are you going to do with that?
Typically on this, we leave it natural just to kind of show the natural blues and grays in there, which are really nice. Sometimes we can throw like a tung oil on there, or just a natural stain, which will seal it, but still allow that natural look there.
Okay. So I want to hang things to that. Am I better off doing this or a wall panel? Like if I want to hang accessories and everything else to that?
Yeah, I would say something like this. Wall panel is typically going to be a 1/4 inch, so not as thick. If you hang stuff on there, it has a tendency to kind of pull things off the wall.
Yeah.
This you can see it's a lot sturdier.
Okay.
It's 3/4 inch, so you can hang just about anywhere on the wall with ease.
Okay, very cool. I like that. I like that a
And
lot.
behind it over here, if you could show this is kind of one area that I really liked. Insulation's kind of a big thing. You're going to be in here in a small space. Air quality is really important. So we shied away from the natural, typical pink insulation, which has a lot of chemicals in it. We did a recycled denim material in here, which I think has an R value of 19. We've doubled this up, so you're going to have more of a warmth space, which is going to be important with the larger windows.
So R value of 19, you said?
Yeah, that's a single layer. So if we double it up, we're looking around an R value of about 40. I do know for a space like this, when the engine's off, it's going to cool down pretty quickly. So being able to retain as much heat as possible.
Okay.
Especially with the windows here like this, we'll probably do some sort of curtain covering here to kind of keep the keep the heat from going out the windows.
Okay, very good. I like that. And then I see you've doubled this. You doubled up some wood over here. What's the idea with that?
So the idea behind here is, again, we're going to continue the wall from the other side. We're going to bring this across here. Have a nice solid surface mount there as well, and then we'll do the electrical box somewhere in this vicinity here.
Okay.
As we build out the bench, the sleeping quarters here in the back side of the van.
Okay, and I want to talk about electrical too, so that just people, we know what we're doing, but what are we doing for electricity? Like, how are we actually going to run electrical in here?
Yeah, electrical is going to be done off of a Goal Zero or a Yeti, or there's another one out there. What's that called? The Jackery device, something similar like that could be charged with a solar panel. That'll give you 12-volt power for the lights. We're going to run down here the fan, any other accessories that need to be plugged in that you have that run off, don't run off the engine or the battery.
Yeah, okay, that's super cool. Yeah. And then framing out the windows.
Framing out the windows is going to be kind of unique on this one. Let's pan over here to this one here, give you a better example. So we're going to continue the shiplap here with a tongue and groove up these columns right here. And then we'll trim this off to kind of, go around the windows there and give it a nice finished look when all said and done.
Okay, very cool. And people are going to be wondering what's going on with that. So that's actually the airbag system, right? Curtain airbags in the back. How are we going to mitigate that, or how are we going to build for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, with up here, this is going to kind of a unique area. We do want to leave some flexibility, so in the case of an accident, the airbags are still able to deploy. So we'll continue to shiplap up through here, similar to what we've got going on down there, and then kind of build around the airbags. And the idea here is that, if they do deploy, this seam here will break away and kind of blow it down. So similar to that. That way, kind of gives some movement.
Okay. So still somewhat functional then. Yeah. It's not completely nailed in there to where it's not going to be able to come out.
Right. Yeah. Most of these vans, are going to be solo trippers. Really, there shouldn't be anybody riding the back.
Correct.
Back here. So it's not too big of a concern. The big concern is keeping them functionable for the drivers up front when they're driving.
Okay. Very cool. And I know we also talked about keeping everything in a way that is built for the person who wants to fix it later on. So everything is accessible, right? I mean, how are you doing that so that it's accessible in case somebody needs to do repairs?
Yeah, absolutely. The wiring and things like this are going to be very important, not to enclose them or keep them in an area where they're not accessible. So we're going to minimize where we run the wires, how we run the wires. In places where there are wiring or plumbing, there is going to be access panels. That way, if something goes out, they're easy to access. Another big idea with this van is to make sure that it's multi-configurable. Nothing's really set in stone. That way, somebody can come in here and kind of change things around with ease. Again, same reason for this type of wall here. You can kind of change out accessories as you evolve, as you build it out a little bit more and find you might need more space, or might just want to upgrade certain things as you go.
Okay, very good. And then let's talk about the overall design. What goes where? The plan, the layout.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is, let's start back here. The idea is going to be to make a nice, comfortable sleeping quarters back here, starting at the wheel wells. Make sure it fits an average sized person. The idea is to kind of have bench style seating on both sides. That will include storage, which will have a panel that kind of goes down the center to make it a full-size bed, and then still have storage underneath if you want to bring bicycles in here, or if you just got extra equipment you need to store. Over here, we're going to do the electrical box. That kind of gives us a little bit more room, makes it easily accessible here to kind of work on, plug stuff outside if you want to charge something with solar, just a little bit more accessible here. Right here, we're going to do kind of like the kitchenette, if you will. Cabinets, more storage, a few more pull-out drawers. Ultimately finishing with a sink here that we're going to do with a gray water system and a foot pump. That'll keep you from having to go outside in the elements during the winter time.
Very good.
And then over here, probably we'll do some sort of storage. Maybe pull out drawers out there again. The idea is to make this thing as universal as possible. So if you want to cook outside or have a shower outside or just need extra storage area, you can kind of pull it out that way.
Very good. I like it. Yeah. I think that's awesome. So what do you envision being some of the hardest things you're going to have to work on? I know you're a carpenter and everything else, but what is the hardest thing about working on these vans that you are anticipating?
Honestly, with a van like this, it's going to be the shapes. Nothing's level, nothing's square, everything's rounded. So kind of getting the foundation of it built, the walls, the insulation, getting that up is always the most challenging. once that's up, the furniture and all the other accessories, the counters, the sink should be fairly easy to go in. So I'd say definitely just kind of fitting the contours of the van and getting that built out.
Okay, so you're not going to actually try to make it square. You're going to try to build around its curvature.
Yes, absolutely. Just like I said, with the windows, they're going to be very unique here. So, we're going to kind of do the shiplap around the windows rather than just kind of leaving it square. Just kind of build around, the studs we have here. But yeah, we're going to follow the shape of the van and what it has, where we can, just to kind of give it that unique look. Cabinets and all that stuff will obviously be square, but we're trying to keep the natural contours of the van here with the walls and the ceilings.
Okay, so can you just walk into a store and buy the cabinets, or are you going to build them yourself?
Absolutely not. Some cases you can, but being that this van has the windows it does, it is kind of presents a unique problem. Most base cabinets are going to be around 30 inches. We're dealing with 24 inches in this case here, so we're going to be doing lots of custom woodworking in this van.
Okay, very good. And what is the next step right now? So you've got the floors, you started on the walls. After you finish the walls, when we do the next video, basically, what are we going to see?
So right now we're finishing out the insulation, as you can see, in kind of some of these unique areas. As we finish out the walls, we're going to be running the wiring and the access panels. As the electrical goes in, we're going to cut the ceiling here and do the max air vent, kind of figure out where the wire channels are going to go, and then we're going to seal it up, finishing up the walls, and then the insulation in the ceiling, as well as the paneling on the ceiling.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? I know that we are kind of cutting into your work day here, but is there anything else you want to put out there, or just in general?
No, this is it is a very fun project, very unique, very excited to kind of see where it goes. We're kind of building it out and seeing where it takes us right now. The unique shape of it, like I said, it's
Yep.
It's just kind of presenting all these unique challenges, so I'm really just kind of excited to see where it goes and see where we're at in the next video.
Very good. What is your experience, Joel? Like, I know, you're not a van builder necessarily, right? What is your experience? Tell us about your history. Tell us about your schooling or whatever it is. What makes you an authority at what you do, basically?
I grew up with my father woodworking. I started at about the age of 9. I started running a bandsaw at 11 and a lathe by 12.
Oh, wow.
So I after the military, went to school for a little bit, did some business, went to school for finance, and found that I wasn't happy, and woodworking was really my passion, aside from being outdoors. And so this kind of affords me the opportunity to be outdoors a little bit more, really enjoy life the way I'm intended to, and kind of use some of my skills that I've grown up doing, and you really put it into whatever it may be, whether it's a building or a specific challenge like this, doing a van.
Very good. So how many vans can we expect from you in a year?
Depends on the build out, hopefully a lot, as we grow, I'd probably say 2 to 3 a year as I'm working solo right now, but just depends on the extent of the build out, really.
Yeah. And I know this is my van, but I'm excited to see what it looks like after it's all said and done. And I want to see the finished product. You're an artist as well, right? So you're not just a woodworker. You've actually studied art, design, and that kind of thing. Is that a fact?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I've got a background in interior design, specifically sustainable design using reclaimed materials,
Very good.
Space planning, layouts, and things like that. So definitely experience in a few different areas that kind of allow me to focus on the skill set of woodworking. Excuse me.
Yeah. So what do you think that brings to the table when it comes to when you're comparing just a regular carpenter, not just a carpenter, but a regular carpenter, and somebody like you who has an art background to him?
Definitely just the kind of way I see things. I tend to see things kind of in my head. I see the finished product.
Very good.
So I think that's kind of the unique perspective. A lot of carpenters kind of want to get in, get the job, have a set specific plan to follow. Whereas this is more of an art project to me, which I'm able to incorporate, and kind of utilize through showcasing the woodworking. So I think that's kind of unique,
Very good.
perspective.
Very good. Joel, I don't want to take up your time. I really appreciate you sitting down with us and talking about this, and I look forward to getting the next iteration of the video build here and seeing where we go from there.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Very nice. Thanks, Joel. Okay, so that was just a little video just kind of showing you what it looks like in the back. I really, really love the fact that you see what Joel's doing over here with putting backing or putting this real thick wood on here, right? A lot of times you get into a van and you can push through the walls and they kind of give. So part of my idea with this was getting a van that's heavy duty enough. So this is a 3500 series van, right? So no matter how well I build out the back, there's no way that I'm going to go over my capacity, you know, my payload capacity by any stretch of the imagination. So building it real well, and especially with the suspension system that I've put in here from WeldTech, with the new springs and everything else, I think that's actually going to drive a whole lot better when it's got a little bit more weight to it. So the other idea is to put a bull bar in the front, and then also in the back here we'll have some kind of a box or a tire carrier, you know, those owl van boxes. Do a situation like that where you kind of have one side be a tire carrier, the other side's going to have a box or something like that. And then same thing with the roof, do a roof rack up there, and then some solar panels as well. And that will you'll start to see the idea at that point of what we're actually trying to do with this van. I think it's going to turn out really, really well, but we'll soon find out. So Joel, you got a website because you got a business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us at 5280plus.com. It's 5280plus with plus spelled out. It's going to have information right now about contacting us, specific projects we work on, how to get a hold of us, and a little bit of a portfolio. It's still kind of under the works right now, so but definitely a good way to contact us.
Okay, Facebook, Instagram.
Instagram, do a lot on there. It's our only social media right now, so you can find us. Same deal there, 5280plus.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks a lot, Joel. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's about that. And we try to do this in one take, right? We just wanted to do something real quick for you, update you guys, tell you exactly what we're doing with this. And that's where this build is right now. You can see from the front, everything is kind of still thrown in here, but looking forward to completing all this as well. But just wanted to drop this for you guys. I hope that this makes sense to you guys. Ask questions. If you got information you need to know about Joel or whatever, just comment section is below. Put it out there, and that's it. Peace.